What is he waiting for? Why doesn't he rush in right now?
Who?
Terran player.
He doesn't have a mobile army, so he doesn't have anything to rush in with.
These guys here.
These are siege tanks, so they can't move when they're sieged.
You can only lift them and drop them from place to place.
No, he has to unsiege them and then re-siege them, so they can't fight while moving very well. Yeah. So like, they defend nicely against his Worm Host, but he in theory he could use the Thors and Vikings to rush during the off cycle, like I was saying earlier. But okay, now he's gonna move some siege.
Because if he doesn't get far enough into the source, then he's just gonna keep spreading and keep multiplying.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, DRG can take this base, this base, all these bases! Like, I mean, if DRG gets a good positioning, is satisfied with this positioning, in theory, he could take 3/4 of the map with creep and bases. Now, granted, he's not floating enough minerals to do that, as he's finally gotten those Vipers, as I was saying. He needed ages ago. He's gotten some Corruptors, so I'm thinking he's going for Greater Spire. Well, he got an Ultralisk Den, but he's making another Spire, so it's probably going to be, I think he's just opening all the tech paths at this point. I don't think he really has a particular plan at the moment. He's just whatever looks good.
Innovation's got a lot of excess supply right now. I wonder why that is.
You mean... Well, the bank for, Innovation, I think, is largely a result of... Well, this is nice. Sort of. I mean, he's gonna... This is gonna turn into orbital. Oh, he's just gonna mule hammer this. And then if it gets in trouble, he'll just lift. So I'm guessing he's hoping there's no mutas left on the map. Which is not the case, of course, but wishful thinking, you know. He does have enough Vikings that he can get in over there, but if there are enough mutas, then... So yeah, he has a couple siege tanks unsieged, and he is going to move forward. He's going to slowly start to reposition, and that will slowly push this back. He's brought some SCVs over here to repair things. He loses a siege tank kind of needlessly because of his poor foresight, but the Swarm hosts realize that the siege tanks are already too close, and they're going to vacate the premises. And back up 1 cent distance. A lot of this creep is going to go down, and DRG is finding himself in a precarious position now. These Vipers were way too late, and I think... I really don't know what he's supposed to do from here. Because... Okay, so he needed to take his tier 3 a lot earlier and get it in, because essentially now, if he picks a tier 3 and goes for, let's say he goes for Ultralisk, well, there are too many siege tanks for the Ultralisk. Let's say he wants to go for Broodlords, well, there are too many Vikings for the Broodlords. So, because he didn't get his tier 3 earlier to chip away at this Terran force, he doesn't have a good option. It's not like he's down and out by any means. He still has an army. He still has stuff that he can do. But he doesn't have a bank to really operate off of. At least no bank greater than the Terran bank. And he doesn't... This one host is gonna die. And he doesn't have the contain anymore either. He has... I mean, he still has a soft contain. Like, he still holds half the map. But the Terran can just continue to advance as long as he's smart about his timings, and doesn't lose tanks needlessly like we were talking about earlier. and he should be fine. There's no Greater Spire yet, so but he does have Ultralisk as an option. He's gonna get some Infestors. I'm not sure if I like that too much. Infestors are not going to do too much against this army in the current scenario. I mean, he definitely needs something other than Swarm Hosts. I feel like he needed to trade out his Mutaling a lot earlier, which he's starting to do now.
Ooh, a little patch of red right there in the middle. The purple.
Yeah.
They are advancing, making their way to the center.
Innovation is just cutting through. He's not even... Okay, this kind of gives you an idea of how strong Terran Mech can be if you don't... You really have to instigate the fight with a Terran Meching player. You cannot let them sit there, even if you have all the map control. Because this happens. Basically, the mech gets to a point where it's very hard to break. Now, in theory, if DRG breaks this once, he should win the game. Because he will be able to rebuild with whatever he wants faster than the Terran player can rebuild his stuff.
Is he making any effort to spread creep right now?
No, and it's not going to matter at this point. I mean, he could spread these two here, and I guess that would be slightly helpful, but other than that, it's mostly he needs to stop this push some way, somehow, since he did not instigate the fight earlier.
If you were him, how would you stop it, or attempt to? Assuming that you're in this position now, not thinking about what were the names of those units that you said he should have had out sooner?
Vipers.
The Vipers.
Namely the Vipers.
But
I still would go for, since the Corruptor count is high enough, I still would have gone for Vipers. I probably would have thrown down a lot of static static defense you have to put down in advance. A nice fungal. It gives... Oh, okay. I see why he's gotten the swarm, the infestors now. It's so that his swarm host can reposition without threat of being sniped. So that makes a lot of sense now.
Do you see Innovation doing anything in the background as he's sneaking in case his first push doesn't work?
Well, he doesn't. He just has Ravens on the production tab. He doesn't have like more factories or more starports. I don't see a fusion core anywhere.
Because it's like, I mean...
But he's kind of... This is nice, because basically there's no way that you can just make a frontal assault through that.
Mm-hmm. Say primitively, the red splotch is growing smaller, and I'm wondering what he's doing in case this doesn't...
Well, Ravens are highly cost-efficient units, so what the Ravens kind of... They... take up less space on the map, but they give the Terran more mobility in his mech composition. So like the siege tanks and the Thors, they're always going to be this slow, but the Ravens, what they do is they can put their energy can be spent quickly, and then the air, since it's an air unit, it can just fly to the other side of the already encamped siege tanks and Thors. So basically, he can attack on this side, then swing around over here, attack on that side. There's a style of martial art that kind of operates like that, but I'm forgetting the name at the moment. He needs some more point defense drones. He's getting them now. I'd like to see some Hunter-Seeker missiles on the Swarm host from the Ravens, since he has the Ravens. he should use the Hunter Sequel missile on this Swarm Host. I hear it ticking, but I don't see it. There it is, and yeah, that's gonna be GG. So DRG realized he can't break his Terran opponent and loses Swarm Host and dies.
Alright. I'll be right back. Today the 20th?
I think it's the 21st.
You're correct.
Confirmed by JRS.
Thank you, J-Russ.
You're welcome, Holt.
And we'll get into our next game. This is going to be on King Sejong Station. Yep. And wow, this is actually loading pretty fast. Expanding to a new resource location early in the game is risky, but the extra income is sometimes worth the risk.
Thank you. This reports at the obvious tips generator.
I feel, though, like, when you're in gold or under, this should be, like, the tip that is always advertised. Every time.
That's useful, I suppose, compared to the others.
Yeah. I mean, basically, my number one, like, whenever I'm teaching someone that's at that lower level, every time, your expansion is late. Your expansion is late. Your expansion is late. Anyways.
But isn't that the bane of any StarCraft player's existence?
What is a matchup that says whoever expands first dies?
PvP.
Okay.
And that's not always true.
Anyways, spawning in the top left, the red Terran, seeking a creative victory innovation.
And his Zerg opponent, spotting in the bottom right. It is the blue Zerg. Did I say that already? DRG! Oh no, I said Zerg opponent, so he gets double the Zerg in his intro. I will be right back.